This is episode 4 of Leak of the Week, January 29th, 2024. We actually have quite a bit of stuff. It's kind of crazy because every week I'm like, man, I don't know if we're going to have some stuff to report on this week, but then a bunch of juicy stuff ends up dropping. So first things first, this is actually an image of Josh Trank's unused concept for Annihilus in the Fantastic Four film. This isn't even a leak. This is just something I wanted to show you guys because I'm a big fan of Annihilus's character, and I think this is kind of cool. It's a different take on Annihilus, but I think it would actually work if the character was done right and honored his comic book roots. I think that this appearance wouldn't actually be too bad, but let me know what you guys think about Annihilus. But getting into the leaks for this week, first I want to cover the stuff that I don't really think is that real, and then we will get into the juicy stuff that is definitely real. So first things first, I actually want to cover a DC leak. I want to get this out of the way, and I actually do think this one is real. I just want to get the DC stuff out of the way first. But it says that DCU Studios' search for the DCU's Supergirl has reportedly now narrowed down to 2 actresses, Meg Donnelly and Millie Alcock, via The Hollywood Reporter. Now, I think either one of these actresses would be fine, but to be honest with you, I think the one on the left looks more like the traditional Supergirl, honestly, because she just looks strong. I mean, that jawline is wicked. That thing is gnarlier than mine. I wish I had a jawline like that, but I think if she's a good actress, I haven't really seen anything that she's been in that she might be a good pick for Supergirl. We'll have to see what James Gunn ends up doing with that. Now, we also have some new Daredevil Born Again leaks. Once again, not only do we have a good look at White Tiger, which I also cannot show in this video, but I will pin it down in the comment below. So check it out down below if you want to see the images of White Tiger. This is apparently going to be played by Jenna Ortega in the MCU, and I think she looks okay. I don't know if that costume is that good. I don't know if this is like her rookie costume and she's going to get an upgrade later down the line, but it's kind of supposed to be a skin-tight white suit that almost looks like Black Panther, and this is definitely not that. Maybe they want to differentiate themselves from that in the MCU, I don't know. But we also have an apparent plot leak of Daredevil Born Again that combines a few different leaks, so we pretty much know the basis of what Daredevil Born Again is going to be about. It says the main plot of Daredevil Born Again is Matt Murdock trying to find a killer while Fisk is trying to get vigilantes outlawed in New York, and Punisher is trying to make dirty cops stop using his logo. I think that sounds pretty exciting. It's definitely going to cross over with Spider-Man 4, which we're going to get into here in a minute, if they end up doing the plot that it sounds like Marvel wants to go with, where Fisk ends up becoming mayor and outlawing vigilantism altogether. That brings us directly into Spider-Man 4's leaks. It's some pretty big news, which is that Marvel and Sony are actually butting heads considerably over the plot of Spider-Man 4. Now, I'm going to cover this in a whole nother video, but this is like a metaphor for the problem with Sony when they are in charge of Spider-Man. They think with corporate think. They're not thinking in terms of good storylines and what will actually build the franchise into the future. They just want to capitalize on what was successful before. You can kind of look at what Sony did with Spider-Man 3 in 2007, where they forced Venom to be in the movie when Sam Raimi didn't want to do that at all. But it says Sony Pictures is reportedly considering bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man 4. Kevin Feige wants the movie to be more grounded and be more like a street level story, while Sony wants it to be huge. Now, we know that Marvel's version of this movie, Disney Marvel's, is going to be a street level civil war involving characters like Daredevil, Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, Echo, Jessica Jones, and more, maybe even characters like Luke Cage and Iron Fist facing off against Kingpin. There's also been reported leaks that Ant-Man is going to show up in that movie, but that just sounds like the route that they should take this next Spider-Man film versus doing another multiverse adventure with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, especially when they're probably going to bring those characters back for an absolutely massive multiverse film with Avengers Secret Wars. It's too much and too soon, and they don't really need to do that. I think they need the more street level story, which is what fans have wanted for a while. Now, getting more into Spider-Man, according to Can We Get Some Toast, an animated R-rated Spider-Man movie is in the works at Sony. I have to think that this goes hand in hand with the Spider-Man Noir leak that came out before, finding out that Sony is working on a Spider-Man Noir film. I'd have to think they might be doing an R-rated, maybe like a black and white style noir Spider-Man film that would actually be R-rated and violent. Now, that would be amazing. Maybe something in the style of Sin City, but animated. We'll have to see what they end up doing with this. I just don't really trust Sony in general, but they have done really, really well with the Spider-Verse films. I blame the creators of that more than the distributors, being Sony. I blame the directors and the writers for that movie's success. But yeah, we'll have to see how this materializes, but I'm getting a vibe that this is actually going to be the Spider-Man Noir film that we already know is also in the works at Sony. The next big leak is actually about Kang and the apparent recast for Kang, which is actually exciting news. Apparently, Denzel Washington's son is heavily being considered to play the new version of Kang that's going to be popping up in the MCU, and I think that this would be an absolutely great recast. Honestly, I liked Jonathan Majors as Kang, but I was almost kind of forcing myself to like him sometimes. I was kind of looking for the Thanos-esque greatness that I just didn't see pop up on the screen. I'm not really fully against a recast, and I think that this might be an absolutely awesome choice. Drop down in the comments below who you think should be playing the new Kang. Okay, on top of that, we also have the Sentry recast, which is actually hilarious because I made a video on how Marvel seems to be course correcting, and this is yet again another example of Marvel's non-stop now course correction, because they seem to be in almost free fall financially with their box office numbers just kind of falling more and more and more with every release. But yeah, this guy looks like he would be a good pick to play Sentry. He actually kind of looks like the character. I have not seen him act in anything, so we'll have to see how it turns out in the movie. But yeah, this looks to be our new Sentry, guys. Let me know as well, do you want to see me cover more leaks than just Marvel? Do you want to see DC also covered in Leak of the Week? Because I can do that as well. It's just going to be a longer video. But honestly, guys, for this video, that is all I got this week for Leak of the Week. It's not an overly packed, jumbled week, and there's not too much to talk about, but there's definitely some juicy stuff in there. I'm really interested to see who they end up recasting as Kang, and I'm interested to see what Marvel's going to look like 3 years from now. Wish I could look into the future and see what movies have come out and what the quality of those movies ended up being and where Marvel is actually going, so we can start getting some concrete answers. But anyways, comment down below what you guys think about this episode of Leak of the Week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I provided you with some valuable information, and until the next video, guys, be safe, stay well, bye-bye.